Here's how you can make 5 to 10 pieces of gold every single day with less than 5 minutes of work. So I made a video not too long ago talking about my simple passive routine that I do every day. It takes about 15 minutes and I net myself about 15 pieces of gold, depending on how hard I want to work. But apparently, that wasn't good enough for you guys. Many people found worth in that. However, I did get some comments where, actually, Caffeinated, that wasn't a passive gold, that was a low effort gold. Therefore, your title is incorrect and misleading. Okay, I got you. You pain in the neck? I'll show you the laziest possible way where you don't have to do a thing to earn pieces of gold in Guild Wars 2. Nothing. All you have to do is log in, do a couple of these small little things, and then log back out so you can go back to watching Naruto. And I know someone's gonna say it's Naruto. No, it's Naruto, and you guys know what I mean. We're moving on. Anyway, this is how you can generate 5 to 10 pieces of gold in less than 5 minutes in Guild Wars 2. Now, as a disclaimer in this example, I am going to say that you have all of the Living World seasons and all the expansions. Specifically, we need the End of Dragons expansion, the Path of Fire expansion, Living World Season 4, and then Icebrood Saga. Those are going to be the 4 big ones that I want to focus on, but here we go. So the first one, and arguably the biggest, easiest way that you can generate gold in Guild Wars 2 is actually Jade Runestone farming. Now, there are a couple of places where you can essentially sit your alts. You can park your alts at these locations, and every day that you log in, you'll get one of these Jade Runestones. And the reason that this is the most fruitful way is that each one of these Jade Runestones usually nets anywhere between 70 to 80 silver each. Meaning that if you get 5 pieces of the Jade Runestone a day, you can net yourself 4 gold right there. And all you have to do is log in. The first one's going to be in Setung Province. It is located at the end of this Tengu jumping puzzle. Now, you will have to do the jumping puzzle every single day. However, it takes less than a minute to go through this entire course. You light the bonfires and then you loot the chest. There's one Jade Runestone. Next, we're going to do the Wind Through the Walls jumping puzzle. Now, this takes some time to get to the end of it, but once you're there, just leave your alt there. You get a grand chest every single day. All you have to do is log in. You get some of the Jade Runestone. Boom. Everything is fantastic. Perfect. Easy. The next are in Echo Vault Forest, and essentially you just have to sit your character there and you're good to go. There's a total of 3 chests that you can get. Each one of them is usually guarded by an elite mob. Most of them are. However, this is such a frequent farm that the mob doesn't stand a chance for longer than like a couple of minutes before a group of people comes through and just obliterates it. So all you have to do is log in, you loot the chest here, here, and then here. You have all 5 pieces of Jade Runestone, the easiest ones to get because all you have to do is log in, loot the chest, and good to go. And on top of that, you'll get some other goodies that you can go ahead and sell to the trading post. You can salvage. There's a lot of free materials that's just laying around. But the big ones being the Jade Runestones. You have 5 of them. You go ahead and sell it for 4 to 5 gold, depending on what the market value is. Easy. You spent less time making gold in Guild Wars 2 than you would have writing a negative review about Witcher Season 3. Alright, so we got the End of Dragons out of the way, and we earned ourselves about 4 to 5 pieces of gold. What's another easy way that we can generate some good coin without doing any work? Now, our next place that we're going to park our alts is going to be the second most profitable, which is in Bjora Marches. So in Bjora Marches, which is a part of the Icebrood Saga season series, whatever you want to call it, there is a currency called Eternal Ice. You can essentially find these in various places doing achievements, doing metas and things along that sort, but we don't want to spend any more time than we need to. We just want to log in, get our reward, instant gratification, and then go back to deciding whether or not we're going to do Chinese or Taco Bell tonight. Now, as a prerequisite for these particular chests that we were going to open, you do have to have some of the masteries that are tied to it. These 3 different mastery tracks that are available, you will have to progress them first and then unlock the respective masteries so that you can go ahead and unlock these chests, because otherwise you can't get into them. So you have to put a little bit of work in, then you just park your alt there, gather these chests every single day, and then on top of that you have a couple of Norn chests that are just located right around there, and it's easy. It's so simple. Get a whole bunch of free Eternal Ice on top of a bunch of other things, so such as like unidentified gear, even some currencies, all that jazz. Now, what do we do with these? So getting this Eternal Ice, you can visit this vendor here, who is located in Bjorn Marches, where you can convert the Eternal Ice into Living World Season 4 currencies. The reason that this is important is because you can use these currencies that you're getting, so the Kralkatite or Mistborn motes, as well as Branded Mass and all the such, can be consumed to be turned into volatile magic. The volatile magic can then be spent for these shipments. Now, one of the big shipments that we can focus on is the trophy shipment. The trophy shipments will then in turn drop some tier 6 crafting materials, which can be sold on the trading post for a gold and a half, easy peasy, no questions asked. You get the Eternal Ice by parking your alts in these locations, and then you essentially turn them into these Living World Season 4 currencies. You buy the trophy shipments, whatever you get, you take and you sell. Less than a minute's worth of work. You can always take that a step further and farm even more Eternal Ice by doing, say, the Icebrood Saga strike missions, but no, we don't want to. We want to be a little bit lazy. But if you do the 5 main Icebrood Saga strikes, you can get anywhere between like 300 to 400 pieces of Eternal Ice, which in a sense translates into like even more gold, so like 4 to 5 pieces of gold. So I'm just saying you could work a little bit harder if you want more of a reward, just saying, putting that out there. But essentially you're there, you're able to generate this gold very simply just by doing this quick conversion back and forth. Okay, we spent about like 4 minutes doing all this. Now we are cooking at around like, I don't know, 5.5 to 6 to 7 pieces of gold, depending on the day. No. What else can we do? Now we are going to go to the Path of Fire expansion. Now you only need the core expansion for these alt parking locations, but the big ones are going to be the Tomb of the Primeval Kings, and then at the top of this particular jumping puzzle in the Crystal Oasis. So let's go and talk about the Tomb of Primeval Kings. Within this tomb, which we promised that we wouldn't loot, but we're looting anyway, essentially there are 7 to 8 different chests that you can open every single day and have no regard. You just grab the chest, open them. It takes less than 30 seconds to clear out the entire section, and then you're good. These have a higher chance at dropping some of the Elonian weapons, which are rare quality weapons. Now you could take those and in turn sell them on the trading post for anywhere between 10 to 15 silver each. You could roll the dice, and if you have a high salvage chance, you could salvage them and then take the glob of ectoplasm and sell them there. That is an option too. But I like to know that if I have that rare item, I'll just sell it and call it a day. On top of that, you'll get a whole bunch of other things. You'll get trade contracts, you'll get unidentified pieces of gear, which in turn can be sold and make some gold that way. It's actually very simple. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Crystal Oasis jumping puzzle. So this is at the very end of this, it's obnoxious, jumping puzzle. You do need to have the Jackal mount to be able to traverse through all these portals, but once you essentially get to the top, it's very simple. You just park your alt there and you open all 3 of these chests, which again have a higher chance at these Elonian weapon skins that you can turn and sell for 10 to 15 silver each, as well as a whole bunch of trade contracts and a whole bunch of free gear. You in turn sell these, boom, easy peasy. And if you aren't using these trade contracts really for anything, i.e. if you're grinding out vision and you need all the funerary incense, which is ridiculous because you need like 10,000 contracts. Anyway, that's a different story. But if you are using these contracts, you can convert them into these league trade caches, which are essentially very similar to the leather shipment, the trophy shipment, all these other various things. And you can essentially just toss all that into purchasing these, which it costs about 50 trade contracts and a couple of pieces of karma, and then you're good to go. And this can net you, depending on how many you get per day. Say that you get 100 trade contracts every single day, that could be an extra 30 to 50 silver depending on the drops that you get. I tend to lean towards the trophy contracts just because they tend to offer the most kind of bang for your buck, because obviously when you're purchasing these are crafting materials and people have a higher need for those, I would say, in comparison to say like leather. ingots or anything like that. So there you go. Depending on how hard you want to work, you can farm as little as you possibly want and get great gold. It's so simple. And I don't want to hear about it. Oh, Caffeinated, you're not thinking about the people who has no time. There you go. That's how you can make some gold very simply, very easily, no effort whatsoever. If you do want to learn a little bit more about how you can make gold passively through my simple method, which does take a little bit of low commitment, you can click on this video here. Otherwise, stay caffeinated, folks.